so let's go around, be looking at 15 of the most brutal fouls in football. So, been a minute since we looked at anything football related. So yeah, let's get into it, shall we?
Here are the 15 most brutal fouls in the history of football.
They haven't cleared it. Oh, that is a booking.
Okay.
Number 15.
Red card,
At number
you think?
15, the foul was committed by a player normally known for being a good guy. It was in the final match of the group stage of the 2018 UEFA Champions League. Bayern
Lewandowski.
Munich versus Ajax Amsterdam. Both teams were giving their all, and they each scored a goal. However, in the 75th minute, chaos erupted on the Ajax bench.
Oh!
Mueller attempted to reach a long pass with a high kick and didn't see the Ajax player who wanted to head the ball. The Bayern player directly hit Tagliafico in the forehead with his boot studs, causing
Yeah, that's, woo, that had to hurt. Great God, that had to hurt.
a laceration. Tagliafico had to receive medical treatment on the field, but luckily was able to continue and finish the match. Mueller, on the other hand, was shown a red card and had to take an early shower. The foul was
I
quite
don't doubt
violent
it.
but unintentional. However, our top 3 fouls, without a doubt, are brutal. Number 14. In the 1990 World Cup held in Italy, Cameroon surprised everyone by beating the defending champions Argentina 1-0 in the opening match. But there was a scene from that game that the football world will never forget. Just before the end of the match, there was one last counterattack by Claudio Caniggia.
Oh!
During that
Oh, that
tackle,
was
even his
intentional.
shoe flew off. Massing was directly sent off, and this foul was considered one of the worst in World Cup history. Indeed, football is pure emotion, and in some cases, tempers flare up quickly. Number 13.
Well, that's what that's what happens when you've got competition. It doesn't matter if you're on the world stage or you're at your local club or anything like that. You've got, especially depending on what's at stake, but you get all that testosterone and emotion and everything else flowing. Hell, you ain't even got to have testosterone. If you're a female playing football or any sport, they can get their estrogen flowing. You know what I'm saying? You got these highly competitive people playing stuff. Tempers flare a bit, and especially if somebody can lose their head really quickly.
Our next foul is committed by a player known mainly for his aggressive defending and unsportsmanlike conduct. In the quarterfinals of the Spanish Copa del Rey, Barcelona, with superstar Messi, played against their arch-rivals Real Madrid. Messi's run towards the goal, as usual, could only be stopped by a foul. And while Messi was on the ground, Pepe did this. He stepped on his hand. Messi screamed in pain, and Barcelona went mad, rightfully so. The referee didn't see it, and there was no video assistant referee at that time.
Oh yeah, he
so
made
Pepe
sure to
didn't
take a
receive
step
a
on
foul.
that finger.
Messi, on the other hand, was
No,
able to continue
that seemed to
playing
be a little bit of
and
maybe,
scored the winning goal against Real. After the
added
match,
flair.
Pepe apologized, claiming it was unintentional. Sorry, Pepe, but it looked anything but accidental.
You looked straight down
Number
when you
12.
stepped on his hand.
The next foul didn't even result in a yellow or red card, although this tackle nearly killed the other player. In 1988, Rangers were playing against Steaua Bucharest. The Scottish team was known for their rough style of play, but Souness went a bit far.
Oh!
Reckless and dangerous, 40 years ago, the studs on
Why are you going to be pointing at the back of your leg? You just kicked the man in the groin area. You kicked him in the no-nose. his junk. Oh my God. No, you don't know. That's, wow. Holy crap. You're trying to make him a eunuch? Like, what was the deal there?
the boots were made of iron, not plastic. The player who suffered the foul had to undergo surgery, and in the hospital he discovered how serious the situation was. One of his lymph nodes had burst, which could have endangered his life. Fortunately, everything turned out well, and Graham didn't even receive a card for his ugly foul.
How do you
Number
not
11.
receive a card for
But let's
that?
stay in England. The Premier League is known to be a bit more physical, and John Terry was known to be one of the toughest defenders. However, this tackle knocked him out cold. It was the final phase of a League Cup match between Chelsea and Arsenal, and the score was tied at 1-1. Chelsea earned a corner, and Terry wanted to show off his heading skills.
They haven't cleared it on.
Abu Diaby wanted to kick the ball away from the goal, and Terry attempted a header at the same time. It
Oh!
was not a good combination. Terry
Wow, the way his head neck just snapped. Oh my God. Bubba, you got to take and you got to woo hoo hoo. Probably woke up a headache from that one. Holy crap! Oh my god, that's one of those things like I'd be a little bit leery about taking and doing a header or trying to do a header around that many folks. It's just so much liable to catch something unintentional. Oh my god, bro, that was
Goal, and Terry attempted a header at the same time. It was not a good combination. Terry swallowed his tongue, stopped breathing for a short period, and had to be treated on the field. Fortunately, he recovered but had no memory of the incident. At least Didier Drogba scored the winning goal, making Chelsea the winner of the match. Number 10. The foul in the next match also occurred during an important encounter and almost sparked a brawl between the two teams. We're back in Spain in the 2011 Spanish Super Cup match between Real Madrid and Barcelona. Remember Pepe? Barcelona was leading 3-2, and it was already the last minutes of extra time when Marcelo had no chance of recovering the ball and brutally lunged at Fabregas from behind.
Bro.
Pure frustration. A straight red card. In the ensuing scuffle, Moreno pinched the ear of the Barca coach, Piqué and Ozil pushed each other, and yes, there was a lot of confusion. Pinto, David Villa, Marcelo, and Ozil all received red cards and had to watch the final seconds from outside the field. Number 9. Axel.
See, if you got bitter rivalries too, stuff like that's more likely to pop off, especially if you got close scores and maybe some ticky-tacky stuff happening, or just a little bit of aggro all the way throughout the match. You're bound to have stuff like that happen. We've already seen that they seem to not like each other all that much. And you're definitely more inclined to have stuff like that happen.
Witsel was an important player for Dortmund in recent years, but when he was making a name for himself in 2009, he was involved in one of the worst fouls, and some even called for his ban from professional football. At the time, the young Witsel played for the Standard Liège. He was part of Belgium's golden generation, and top clubs from around the world had their eyes on him, but then during a match against Anderlecht, this happened. Witsel broke the opponent's leg, received a red card, and was suspended for 8 matches.
Wow! Yo! I've seen some pretty bad, watching the NFL and college football, you see some pretty bad, stuff that makes you just wince when they take it to the replay and oh my god. Yo. Oh my god, that poor soul. And to do it and to intentionally never again. Yeah, you're banned for life for something like that's no. Bro, that's oh, golly, dude. That's
Continued to claim it was all unintentional, but with the next incident, the perpetrator of the foul won't be able to escape. Simply brutal. Number 8. It's the final of the 2010 FIFA World Cup in South Africa. The Netherlands, with Arjen Robben, faced the Spanish tiki-taka of Iniesta and Xavi. It's the 28th minute and the score is 0-0 when Nigel de Jong turns into a kung fu fighter against Xabi Alonso. It's understandable that the Spanish players were furious with the referee because the Englishman, Howard Webb, only showed a yellow card. It's hard to believe when you see those images. Fortunately, Alonso could continue playing, and since Robben failed to score, Spain ultimately won the World Cup. But this foul in the Bundesliga...
I'm going to say this, I don't understand how you don't take it. That looked like it was completely intentional, hiya, doing some karate kicks and stuff like that. But whoo, that one beforehand, dude, that poor dude's leg. Oh my god. How was that one higher, further up the list than the last one? The last one, or the one number 9 should be probably up there by about 3 or 4 if I have to venture a guess. Unless we're about to see way worse, and if that's the case, if you got a weak stomach, look away.
didn't have a pleasant aftermath. Number 7. The injured player even sued the other player and the opposing team's coach. In 1981, Bielefeld played against Werder Bremen. Ewald Lienen tried to dribble past Siegmann. The Iron Studs cut Lienen's thigh, and I can't show you the leg photos, otherwise YouTube would block the video. The player recovered from the injury after 4 weeks, but sued Siegmann and Otto Regal, the coach of Werder Bremen at the time. According to Lienen's accusation, the player had encouraged his teammates to commit the foul. The lawsuit failed, but the incident didn't go unnoticed. In the return match, the coach even sat on the bench wearing a bulletproof vest. There were death threats against him.
Oh, wow.
Number 6. Martin Taylor also received a death threat after his foul on Eduardo. We're back in the Premier League, Birmingham City against Arsenal. Martin Taylor's incredibly brutal foul against Eduardo of Arsenal resulted in a broken tibia and fibula. The incident was so shocking that even on TV, replays weren't shown. Taylor was suspended for 3 matches. Eduardo returned to the field after a long injury hiatus, but was never the same. Number 5.
That's how you know it's bad. They wouldn't even show replays after that first leg. I'm kind of glad we don't get to see it. Yeah, after that first leg one or the previous leg one, I'm glad we didn't get to see it because that's just give you the ibby-jibbies seeing stuff like that. Just ugh.
Number 5 occurred 2 years later, again in a Premier League match. Stoke City's Ryan Shawcross entered the duel, made the first contact, and broke Aaron Ramsey's leg. Shawcross received a red card and was suspended for 3 matches. Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger and the rest of the team were furious. 19-year-old Ramsey was making a name for himself in the football world, and many feared his career was already over. Fortunately, he recovered from the terrible injury and continued to play. Now let's move on to a foul that gave the player a nickname. The Butcher of Bilbao, number 4.
If you get a nickname playing something like football and it's the Butcher, you done messed up. You done something way bad. Just throwing that out there.
In the 1980s, Athletic Bilbao and Barcelona had the biggest rivalry in Spain. Bilbao became champions in 1983, Barcelona won the cup, and in their 4th round of the new season, the 2 teams were set to face each other. The skillful Catalans against the tough Basques. 2 different football worlds. The score was already 2-0 for Barca when Maradona received the ball in midfield. Goicoechea brutally lunged from behind and broke the 25-year-old Maradona's ankles. Maradona had to stay out of the game for several months, and Goicoechea received an 18-match suspension. We've reached the top 3, and we're back in the Premier.
18-match suspension. That number 9. Like, just from seeing the replay, like that should be way higher than number 9. Just way higher, because there was intent with that one. It looked like that last one there was intent as well, but yeah, the guy at number 9 should have gotten a 18, 19, 20 match ban as well, in my opinion.
Premier League, number 3. In 2006, Manchester City played against Portsmouth. After a corner kick, Portsmouth player Mendes rushed to clear the ball. Then Thatcher hit him in the face with an elbow for no reason. Mendes lost consciousness and had to be treated on the field and then taken to the hospital. The absurd thing is that Thatcher only received a yellow card.
What?
What does one have to do to get a red card in England?
He all put through. What was he listening to pregame to get warmed up? Throw them bows. Like, what the hell, man? Like, that's heavily intentional. Just might as well just throwing your fist. Oh my God, but only a yellow card. Boys will be boys. What the hell?
Later, he was suspended by the Football Association for 8 matches and fined by his own club, being docked 6 weeks' wages as a punishment. Hey, it's not fair to hit others when you're angry, but it's perfectly fine to hit the subscribe button with force. Now, let's move on to a classic moment in football. Number 2, France versus Germany. In 1982, the 2 teams met in the World Cup semifinals, and the encounter was ruthless. Suddenly, a good opportunity for France. Goalkeeper Schumacher lunged at Battiston and knocked him out with a powerful blow. The player lost several teeth and suffered a spinal injury. One of the worst fouls ever. Schumacher had no chance of touching the ball, and it seemed like he just wanted to knock out the French player. But here's the absurd part. He didn't receive any card, not even a yellow one. Germany won the semifinal, but then lost to Italy in the final. Our number one, perhaps...
Bro, he absolutely lunged. Like, that was... He went airborne, and he's right. Absolutely no reason on that one. But the fact he got no card? Wow. Bruh. Gee, Manetti. Woo. Good Lord. Guys got some hops, though. I'll give him that. Boy could get up there.
The most brutal foul ever happened in England. Are we really surprised? Number 1, September 1997. Manchester United was playing against Leeds. Roy Keane and Alf Inge Haaland, or rather Erling Haaland's father, clashed several times during the match. 5 minutes before the end, Keane wanted to trip Haaland, but in the process he injured himself. Haaland leaned over him and shouted to stop faking an injury, but Keane wasn't faking. He'd torn his cruciate ligament and had to be out injured for a long time. 3.5 years later, the two faced each other again. Haaland was playing for Manchester City, the eternal rival of Manchester United. Keane wanted only one thing, to have revenge on Haaland.
Oh!
He received a red card and a 3-match suspension, plus a fine of £5,000. A year and a half later...
What is it with these 3-match suspensions? Check those people's heads. Like, that was clearly intentional. Bro. I hope it didn't break anything, at the very least.
He wrote in his autobiography that he wanted to hurt Haaland with that foul, and the English League handed him another 5-match suspension and a fine of £150,000.
Number 9 should have been way higher than number 9. Like, number 1, I think, should have been number 2 or 3. Just because, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was intentional, but, yeah, it didn't look as gruesome. Holy crap. Both were in... This was... Whew. It's a heck of a list. Now, granted, watching a lot of football matches, they barely touch, and somebody will fall and be holding their knee and then look around and hop back up and run down the pitch, to where the ball's at or whatever. So, you got a lot of faking that goes on, but, bro, the intentional nature of a lot of these. You go for the legs, 3 matches, 8 matches, 18 matches. Nah, you're done. You're done for good. No, we're not trying to intentionally inflict harm that could permanently, affect someone. You're out the game. There's no place for stuff like that. It's one thing you want to take and run through and pop them maybe in the upper chest with a shoulder or something like that, take and knock them down. That's one thing. You take and go after the leg. Out. You're gone. That's crazy. Number 9 to me was the most just, ugh. That was the most brutal. Just because we got to see what it looked like when the leg did what it did. But yeah, this is definitely, you get you got competitiveness, you've got hormone, you got testosterone, you got the adrenaline, you got a cocktail for some really bad things going on there. So this was definitely interesting to see. There was some brutal stuff that happened. I have to find some more stuff like this. There's something about the nature of seeing something to make you go, oh, and you just have to look back to see, that human nature or something. I don't know. I hope y'all enjoyed this, though. Y'all be good to each other. Love yourselves. Peace.